to Carpool Convo. My name is Vaughn, and I have here my mom, Desiree, and she's going to talk about her journey on embracing her natural hair. I know as African American women, sometimes it's difficult to embrace that to the point of where we know that we are beautiful with our natural hair, no matter the texture of it. So we're going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and start asking her questions so she can let us know how this journey has been for her. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
So, tell me, how long has it been since you have embraced your natural hair?
Well, my journey goes back about almost 10 years ago. I know this coming Mother's Day will be 10 years. Was the last time I went through the journey of putting what I call creamy hair crack in my hair, which is a perm. So on Mother's Day, 10 years ago, I put a perm in my hair, and I began to just have so many thoughts about embracing being natural. So before it was time to do my retouch, if you would, just thinking about opportunities of going natural. So I decided, hey, I'm not going to put any more creamy hair crack in my hair. That was my first decision. When I did it that time, it's like no more. But about 15 years ago, about 12 years ago, my husband, he began to go through the journey of going into his lock. So he began to lock his natural hair. And when I would go visit with him at the loctician, if you would, they would always ask me, like, oh, Miss Desiree, why don't you lock your hair? You're going to lock your hair? And I'm like, nah, I'm not interested. That was about 12 years ago. But again, about 10 years ago, I guess the conversation would come up in other platforms besides going to his loctician. I would just see individuals with natural hair or locked hair, and the conversation would come up. So I decided no more perms was the first step. And again, that's going on 10 years. And then on my 49th birthday, and I'm 57, I cut my hair down to that little 1 inch of hair, and I called it my little boy afro, and my husband took me to his barber, and I cut it down on my 49th birthday so that I could mark the day I knew I had to be absolutely serious to cut my hair that short, and begin to say, hey, from here we're going to see what happens. So there was a time when I would always make sure I had a wig on hand, kept wigs on hand, ponytails, things like that. And often I would wear braids. So I still consider myself natural because I wasn't perming my hair. But then, you know, as we can talk a little bit later down the road, we begin to talk about the journey where I decided I'm gonna, not do the braids, not do the wigs, not do the ponytails, and just totally embrace wearing my natural hair.
So tell me this, what was like your emotion when you went to the barber and like you're like, oh my goodness, like my hair is like so short? Like, how was that emotionally for you?
Well, this is the thing. I was a little bit timid as how I would be viewed, because to be honest with you, I didn't want individuals to look at me and say, hey, she look like she might, be of the other persuasion that she might like men. I mean, not like men, that she might like women. I didn't want people to look at me and think, oh, she's a girl liking girls. That's why she looks that way. So I wanted to make sure I didn't look any way masculine, just my hair is short. So I was a little bit timid of just what I thought people would think about me when they saw my hair. Society, and, just wondering when they see me, what did they see? And I can remember a group of people I went to high school with. They were having their annual fish fry, and my sister invited me, and she and I went to the fish fry, and I saw a lot of individuals and people were actually complimenting me. I wasn't getting the stare downs I thought I was going to get, not the negative stare downs. So then that kind of made me feel good. They kind of boost me up a little bit, like, oh, cool, that's great. But I still hadn't came to the point of being comfortable to not wear the wigs and ponytails, because my hair grew back kind of quickly, and I would wear like headbands and then have the puff up top, and as my hair grew back quickly, then I could gel it down and put a ponytail on, or braid it down and wear the wig or whatever, or just wear braids in general. I still wasn't ready to say, hey, leave the wigs, leave the braids, leave the ponytails, just wear your hair. So that took a minute to get to that point.
So do you think that you had to go through a transition of becoming okay with just wearing your hair without the extensions or the weaves? Do you think that you had to go through a transition because of the stigma behind the short hair?
I think not necessarily whether it was short or not, but just natural in general.
Okay.
Like thinking, if I just say I were going to a job interview, or if I'm at work, how would individuals look at me with natural hair? Would they say, "Oh, well, was I not pretty enough? Was I not? Was it not business enough?" Like I work at a school, and so I'm the front desk manager. So I'm thinking when people walk in and they see me with my natural hair, what would they portray? What would they see when they saw that? What would they think? Oh, she's this or that. So I had all these negative thoughts as to what people would say if they saw me without a wig, without a ponytail, just my natural hair and whatever style I was wearing it in. What would they say and how would I be portrayed? That was a really huge piece for me.
Do you think that this, okay, so you know what? The way people portray you, what you thought people portrayed you as, was this something that just started as you were in your 30s, 40s, 50s? Or has it been something that has been a part of you for a very long time?
Well, if we're going to be on the topic of natural hair, I think, and basically because I am a fully melanated African American woman, I think people look at me sometimes different than they would somebody who is less melanated. Like if they look at me, you know, she's dark skinned and then she got a natural hair. Oh my goodness, what does she look like? I think that's a journey that I've been going on pretty much all my life, all my life. And I've actually had some individuals, especially females, who will actually acknowledge that they know that they were treated different because their complexion was lighter than mine. And that made me kind of feel better because it kind of validated how I already felt. Because sometimes if another female come up, you're like, "Oh girl, you just insecure," or "Girl, ain't nobody thinking like that." And I'm thinking, I know what I see, I know what I felt, I know what I experienced over my lifetime. So when I've had women that actually say, "Hey, I know I was treated different because of the lighter complexion that I have," they say when they have saw maybe it happened to the relative of theirs or whatever. Like one of my coworkers, she said her sister was more melanated like I am, and she said she even had relatives who admitted that they liked her better because her skin complexion was lighter. And she said her grandmother used to call her little white baby or something like that, and would kiss her, and she would have her pictures around her house versus her sister's picture just because of her complexion. And she was told not to marry a dark-skinned man because she'll have dark-skinned kids. So that melanin was like a big issue. Like, you're natural and you're dark skinned, you mix those two together, like, oh, what is that? But I noticed that once I embraced it, I think I do sometimes feel like I need validation. So when I started getting all these compliments, I'm like, girl, you should have been wearing your natural hair. Because especially a lot of European Americans, they would walk up to me like, "Oh, it's more, your hair is beautiful. You look really nice today." And I'm thinking, okay, if I knew that I was been stopped wearing the braids and been put the wigs. And so I think that validation piece was a big deal into me saying, hey, let me go ahead and really embrace my natural. So it wasn't just me on my own. I kind of did look for validation.
Thank you for that. Because granted, it started from let me at least cut my hair, then let me cover it, but then it's like I can wear my natural hair and be okay with it. However, what you're saying, it started from a long time ago, just with your complexion. Just your complexion. So it didn't start as an adult. It started from before an adult. That because of that, it has kind of like made you skeptical about other things of changes in your life, whether your hair or whatever the case may be. So with all that being said, now you said it's almost 10 years that you've been natural. How long has it been that you have said, you know what, I'm done with all of the extras, the weaves and the ponytails? How long has that been?
And that's amazing because that is very new in my journey. I would say maybe given 90 days, give or take.
Okay.
After my 57th birthday, I was still kind of wearing my wigs and ponytails, and I was looking in catalogs, like getting ready to get my new wigs and things like that. And then one day I decided I'm just going to try to wear my hair out. So when I wore my hair out to church, and I'm going to see what that response was. Again, it looked like I got that person that feel like I had to be validated. So if I didn't get any, like, I felt like looks or any remarks that were negative, I thought that was okay. But the minute somebody complimented me, that was like a yes for me. And so, okay, I got the church thing over with. And I still hadn't been able to do it at work. So then when I was able to do it at work, I was like, wow, that's the second hurdle. Because I had a third hurdle. So the first one was church. The second one was work. Because I was kind of okay with maybe doing it like on the weekend or to maybe a family event. Because I know my family already knew I was natural. On the weekend, maybe I'm just going shopping. I'm not around people who really know me. But I know at church, people know me. At work, people know me. So when I was able to do work and church, those were the two hurdles. But the third event or the third opportunity for me that was like absolutely, I'm in the natural, I'm there, was I was invited to a Christmas event, and it was a soiree, and you know, everybody was going to be really dressed up and have your really nice clothes. And I'm like, if I could wear my natural hair to this event, I'm there. I know I'm there.
Yes.
And so I did my hair, and you know, I put my little my earrings on and just had my natural hair and had my nice dress on, and I received so many compliments. And not so much as saying my hair per se, but just saying, oh, you look beautiful, oh my goodness, you're gorgeous. And this was from women of all ethnicities, but I just kept receiving, and even some men, because it was at the mall, and they were like, oh my goodness, you look so beautiful, you look nice, you look, you know. And so that kind of put me at a point where I'm like, if I could wear it to a really dressy event, wear it to church, wear it to work, I'm in there. So like now, I don't want to wear my ponytails, I don't want to wear my wigs, and I look at them, you know, in my area that I keep them, and I look at them like, should I keep them, should I give them away, should I throw them away, should I just save them just in case? I'm not sure. Because even just this last weekend, I was a bridesmaid in a wedding, and I had my total natural hair, and I felt like I looked nice. I kind of felt that without the validation. I looked at myself and I'm like, oh, you look so beautiful, to myself. And then I still got those compliments. Again, me being that person that sometimes need that validation. So it's put me at a point where I'm totally okay to not wear the wigs, not have the braids, not have the ponytail, and be totally fine and feel like I look gorgeous and beautiful.
That's amazing. That's an awesome story. That's amazing, because through your transition, you have learned that, you know what, hey, I don't need validation. And if I do receive compliments, it's just something that's like a cherry on top of the cake. It's just extra. But I can do this. When you can wear your natural hair at a wedding, or, you know, at a ball or church or whatever, you know, hey, this is who I am. I'm natural and I'm okay with it. That's awesome. What would you say to, because we're finishing up, what would you say to women out there who's going through this journey now, who may not be where you're at as far as, you know, embracing it every day, all day, everywhere? What would you say to help those women who are in the beginning of the stage of, maybe I do, maybe I don't, maybe I cut my hair, maybe I don't, maybe I wear wigs or braids, I'm not sure, I'm not sure if I can do this alone without the validations. What would you say to them to encourage them that, hey, you can do this?
I think I would first be honest with them, if they're not totally comfortable with it, to admit that you might not be comfortable, but to tell them to look in the mirror and just look how beautiful they are, and to remind them that they are beautiful, and to talk to them, like, look in the mirror and just say to yourself with your natural hair, with your short hair, whatever it is, that you are beautiful, and say that to yourself. So with or without the validation, you already know. Make that affirmation that you're already, that you know that you're already beautiful, regardless of what anyone else say. You already know that. And I think that'll make that journey easier if you do get the looks, if you do have somebody that may say something negative. Because I can remember one time, I didn't say it earlier, I was in the classroom and I was working with another teacher, and an older teacher, she said, I like you better when you wear your braids, because you know how you take your braids out and you kind of have that resting period before you put the braids in again. And so that kind of hurt me a little bit, because coming from another black person, that kind of hurt me a little bit, just a little bit. But it kind of still made me a little self-conscious, like maybe I need to make sure I always have the braids, because if she said that, other people were thinking that, they just didn't say it. So so now that I can say to myself, regardless of what anybody say to me, I love myself, I love my natural hair, I like the validation, but I already know when I look in the mirror that I am looking at pure beauty. And that's what I would tell my next person. You know, you're looking at pure beauty when you look in the mirror, and know that with or without that validation.
I love it. Well, that was amazing, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the video. Please share it with a friend, because women, we we need this. We need to support each other, and we're all going through certain journeys and certain situations that support is definitely encouraging and needed. So as we're going to end our video, I'm going to go ahead and take my mom where she needs to go. And by the way, I hope she got gas money.